All right, let's go ahead and talk about it. I'm trying not to keep you guys too long. So Maurice decided he finna stop by Black. Okay, he want to chop it up with his brother. So when they go sit down, Maurice asked Marcel, like, yo, you talk to Michael? He was like, nah, I ain't talking to Michael. I ain't talking to Michael since y'all, you know what I'm saying, tried to bone rush me or whatever it was y'all was over there doing, trying to gang up on me and stuff. So then Marcel says, no, Maurice speaks on everyone having to deal with the issue of the photo. He was like, you know, you got everybody dealing with this stuff. He was like, well, who I got dealing with it? He was like, well, you got Tisha and Kimmy. He was like, Tisha's fine. He was like, yeah, Tisha's always fine, huh? You always say that. Tisha's always fine, according to you. And Marcel was like, yeah, she is. Everybody's fine until they not. And I'm like, okay, well, until they not. I guess until Tisha opens up and lets them know I'm not fine, she gonna always be fine. And even when Tisha opens up and say I'm not fine, and he's still gonna think she's fine. Anyway, so Marcel asked him his thoughts on the photo. And then, you know, Maurice was just like, well, I just felt like this NIGGA here, this MF here. Okay, now why would you go and do that? Marcel says that a normal person would say that he was there. Like, oh, wow, he was there. And Maurice says he told him he was there before he even posted the pic. So Maurice says that he told us at the reunion that he posted that he was there. And I don't know, but Marcel says that not everyone heard it. Not everyone heard that. I'm like, I don't recall hearing that. Maybe I need to go back and watch the reunion because I don't remember him admitting that he was there. So then Maurice wants an apology. And Marcel says, what he say? He says that he says he did say, I don't believe that you lied. And I'm like, lies you tell, because I believe that he did. But he could have said he was there, though. He was like, I don't believe that you lied, but you at least could have told the people I was there, but I did not witness the interaction. And I'm like, well, then that's still going to be a lie. We ain't playing two lies and the truth or anything like that, honey. It's still going to be a lie because you did witness her interaction. Okay, we just saw where Martell hung out over the weekend with his baby mama, Miss Ariane. Okay. And eventually he got in the frame so that they could see each other. And it looks like they could have been in like a VIP section at a concert. There were other people there in that same section. And you had some people in the background. This one dude looked like he was trying to hide, and then he came back and he was just dancing and stuff. So I'm like, are these your people? So, because I feel like he had her around his people, and I feel like he always does that, which makes me believe that Mr. Maurice, you have witnessed that interaction and you lied to the people. What else happened? What else? So Maurice asked so Martell decided that he was gonna show up. Martell shows up. They asked him about the book signing, the book sales and stuff, and he was like, oh, everything's going great. You know, I do have a book signing come up, so y'all should bring the kids. I said, now you know, Marceau ain't bringing his kids nowhere. You do know that. I don't even know why you asked, right? Well, Marceau came up with an excuse as to why he couldn't. Maurice is going on the honeymoon trip with Miss Kimmy, so he won't be able to go anyway. So Maurice asked Martell about the photo, right? So then Martell said, you know, yeah, it was a whole lot going on. I'm even sorry for engaging in the way that I did. So then Marceau, he not really hearing that, you know, Martell and I'm talking about. Martell says, since Maurice says he wasn't there, we should have went along with it and admitted, you know, that he wasn't there, or not admit, but go along with. And I disagree. Y'all didn't have to do that. And I'm glad that Marceau didn't, because it makes for good TV and good conversation. Okay. So Martell brings up Tisha and Marceau coming at Lou. Like, yeah, y'all kind of went hard at Lou, and I think that was messed up. Excuse me. So Marceau felt like he was going to hold him accountable for his words, right? Martell thinks he needs to apologize to everybody when it comes to Marceau. Like, you owe your brother an apology, Tisha, you know, Kimmy, whatever. You owe Lou them an apology. Like, you're just out here out of control, right? And so Martell thinks that they should have had a man-to-man combo. Then Marceau feels like he doesn't know him and he didn't earn a right to give him his opinion. And I'm like, you don't know him. He didn't deserve a right for him to give you his opinion or whatever. But when y'all was out there in Vegas, you was just so open to tell him your business about what's going on with you. So he's okay for you to tell your business to and stuff, but he not okay for him to give you his opinion. That don't make any sense. But what's also not making sense, which is so funny, is to see Martell sitting up here having this somewhat intelligent conversation with the guys and trying to call them to the carpet and hold them accountable for certain things. And not just the guys, but Marceau. I said, okay, I guess Marceau, if that's what you want to do, honey. Okay, so let's get to Tiffany and Louis. Tiffany wants to run Louis' wire through her hole. Because he over there messing with wires, and at this point, she wants to run his wires through her home. So she also tells him about how she and Kimmy are in a much better place now, but it seems like Stormy was doing a whole lot. The way Stormy approached her and came in, okay? And I just find it to be hilarious to me, Tiffany, that you are so bothered by Stormy when you came in hot in the same fashion last season. I guess it don't feel good. Now you're seeing how the other ladies felt, right? Okay. So Lewis gave no input when she explained that. He didn't care. He didn't add no input. He didn't say anything like, well, babe, maybe y'all will get on one, a better footing, or maybe this will happen or anything. He gave her nothing. But then he immediately turned around and went straight into the conversation he had with Martell and how things were affecting him. Okay. So Lewis is considering pulling Marceau to the side and having a talk. Tiffany and Lewis want to have a convo with, or at least Tiffany wants them to have a convo with Tisha and Marceau, like together, I guess. And then Tiffany goes on to speak on how she's known Marceau for a minute, which was interesting because then it just sent, what's his name? Mr. Lewis into like he just immediately got upset. And I was like, did the editing miss something? Like, what? Why you just immediately get upset? Because she said she's known him for a long time and he got a big personality. Maybe he was frustrated with the fact that she was trying to make an excuse for him or something. And that's when Lewis like, I don't give about none of that. I don't care. Okay? I don't care nothing about that. I know a lot of people that got a big personality, so that doesn't mean anything to me, okay? Lewis says that he is open to having a conversation. And Tiffany was like, well, are you worried about getting physical with him or something? And he was like, hell no, I ain't worried about getting physical with no mother. Okay, I'm going to do what I want to do. And I'm like, okay then, tough guy. All right, well, just asking a question, okay? Anyway, so let's keep going. Melody over there talking about her oldest daughter and acting shy. I'm thinking that she finna put the oldest daughter on tape. Come to find out, the oldest daughter is putting her on tape for an audition. I wasn't bad at it, okay, because she teaching her some things, right? But then they also sat down and she asked her daughter, like, do you know why I'm doing all of the things that I'm doing for you guys? Her daughter named off a few things. They could take us to nice places and we could do that and we could do this. And then Mel said, yeah, that's part of it. But it's more so that I don't have to depend on anybody else. And I want you to learn that firsthand as you get older. I want you to be able to understand your independence and continue to, be out here chasing your dreams and things that you want. So, okay, cool. Right. Let's get to Martell and his mama. Child. So Martell mom, so he goes to show her the samples of wine that he got. And what we learned is that he actually named this wine after his grandmother, Inez or something like that. And so I'm like, for me, it's like good for Martell. Good for Martell. Start working on something. Okay. So I'm glad that he's moving on and working on new endeavors because regardless of what has happened in his past life, okay, as far as his relationship with Miss Mel, life still has to go on because he still has children that he's going to have to take care of. So if that's what you want to do and you want to venture out into that, and then if it sells good enough and you can turn around and get you some type of contract with some of these wine companies, not so much as wine companies, but some of these wine stores, okay, these franchises that are buying into your products and you can get them sold out of the stores, I say go for it. Okay. It would be nice, I will say, it would be really nice to be able to see the process for Martell to sit down and actually study for his builder's license. Okay. That would be good as well, but we'll see if he's gonna do it or not. Okay, so his mom tells him that he was having, when it came down to his past, because y'all know he was talking about being tapped out. He ain't had no money, none of that. Okay, it was a struggle for him going through this divorce, right? So the mama tells him that it was just a test. And I just kind of felt like laughed my ass off because for me, I feel like this wasn't a test that he had to take. I feel like tests be coming out of like, I guess like not really the blue, but the blue sometimes when it comes to life. I feel like, girl, this was a test that could have been avoided. Like he caused this for himself, but whatever you're gonna say, okay. I feel like that's what moms do often. Even when the world may be against their children, they still try to pour into their kids, regardless of who got their back, who don't got their back, and whatever the transgressions are that they may have, been going through and the poor decisions that they may have made. She's still gonna pour into him. So I guess, girl, Marceau and Tisha. So they finally actually sit down with the family, having to talk about taking the whole family over to Africa. All right. I really have no words. I really don't. Like I just okay. Okay, y'all going to Africa, girl. Okay. So Marceau says that he was scouting areas for the family for when they go to Africa. I bet. I'm sure. I'm sure. Okay, y'all gonna take Mama Wanda on the trip. Anyway, so Marceau tells her about Maurice and Martell coming at him, okay, for bullying Mr. Lewis or whatever. Tisha brings up everyone telling him what everybody's telling you what it is that you need to do. Everybody, he's like, what you talking about? She's like, well, Mama was over there talking about, you need to come clean about the apartment that you got with Martell. And I don't even know where that came from. Like, where did that even come from? Right? Then they over here jumping on your back about Martell, and the apartment, and they jumping on your back about Maurice. Everybody's trying to tell you what it is that you need to do. So anyway, so she brings all that stuff up. Okay, the stories from the bloggers, the secret apartments, the babies, whatever. Okay, what else? He says that he has noticeable cars with his name and stuff on it. So if he was having an apartment that he was a secret apartment or whatever like that, people would notice. Here's my thing, and I think you may have a point, but at the same time, because you work in real estate, some of your name is on your cars. When you say your name is on your cars, you're talking about scoped, I'm sure. Unless you have a car that says black on it as well. I'm sure because you work in real estate, they probably think you over there doing some work as far as the apartments are concerned, okay? Because that's residential as well, child, multifamily. But anyway, I guess if that's the story you want to go with, then I guess we'll just go with that. What else happened? So he says that she says, have you talked to Martell? Have you talked to Martell about these homes, the secret apartment? He was like, no, I don't talk to Martell about stuff like that. Like, I don't talk to him about that. Okay? Talk to him about stuff like that. So she wants to know, here she go in a confessional. Well, if you don't go to Bella Noches, then where the hell, could you go? I mean, like, if you don't talk to him about that, then what is it that you guys do talk about? She meant overall. But what he did, he goes to a specific conversation. He said, well, I told you he fronted me about the situation dealing with Lewis. Like, those are the things, that we talk about, and the photo with, Maurice. Like, that's the stuff that we talk about. And I'm like, you knew what the hell she meant. And then here go Tisha. Oh, yeah, because you was wrong for that. And I'm like, Tisha, he really just sat up here and didn't even answer your damn question. But we can deflect. Let's do it. Anyway, so then what else happened? I think that was pretty much it. She wants to know if he doesn't talk to Martell, what he talk about, whatever, the pics, Lewis, whatever. Then he lets her know that Martell called him and told him to not do anything to mess up his marriage. And she was like, well, what did he mean by that? Like, do you know? Like, what did he mean by that? Like, not mess up them, like, don't do anything to mess up the marriage. He's like, I guess he was just, thinking about what he's been going through, and he wouldn't want that for me. And I'm like, girl, bye. If that's how you feel. Thank you so much, Shay, a butter baby, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I love your blend of commentary and comedy. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, so they weren't really, girl, let's keep going. Kimmy and Maurice. So they're finally about to go on this honeymoon trip. They over there packing. She tells him about the slumber party. Like, babe, guess who was there? Because Destiny and Tisha wasn't. And he was like, well, who? She was like, Kiki. And he was like, oh, shit. Because he already knew it was going to be a mess, right? What else she said? She tells him about Kiki speaking on Tisha and Marceau's relationship and how she should tell. She told him about her speaking on the relationship and stuff, right? And how she felt like she should tell this to Tisha. We know she probably not, but Maurice encourages her to like have that conversation with Tisha because he wants to really fix that, it seems, okay? The relationship between Kimmy and Tisha. So she said that she is going to do it. And then he tried to tell her, like, don't, make sure you get all angles of the story before you just choose a side. And she was like, you must not know who I am. That's one thing that I'm always do, okay? You must not know how I roll with this, okay? So there's that, right? We'll see how that's going to play out. I do think it's going to be very interesting to see how Tisha, like, I'm going to see Tisha in a way I've never seen Tisha before, ever. Okay, the way she comes off with her cousin, snapping off on her cousin, that's going to be interesting. And y'all, let me know. I feel like, I don't know what all her cousin does, but and remember the cousin came out last week. I did a video about that. And the cousin came out and gave her opinions about different stuff or whatever, and how she felt like Tisha has been talking about her like a dog and stuff, right? And it makes me wonder how Tisha views her cousin, and if she views her cousin to be less than her. And I don't know, just me wondering, based on the way that she came at her, right? Based on the way that she was talking to her and did it, well, let's do this. We ain't even got to talk. We can da. And I'm just like, this ain't even Tisha. Maybe it's because it's her cousin and they have a familiar, they know each other, and maybe how she talked to her cousin is different than how she talked to her friends. Or is it that she looks down on her cousin and feels like she could talk to her like that because she ain't really get that same type of energy to Mel or to Kimmy? I just can't recall. But, y'all let me know. All right. So let's get to Martell in this book signing. So it's the book signing. Y'all know Martell has a book with his children. It's a children's book, A Trip to Canada. Okay. So he says that he had been texting Melody for quite a few days, trying to get the children to come and be a part of this book signing. Okay. When he was talking to Melnika, it seems like he wanted to really cry. He was hurt. He was disappointed. Like he really wanted to have his children there. My question is this. I felt bad for you, Martell, with everything that happened, right? Your kids not being able to be there for that moment. However, I want to know what has transpired for Mel to not answer your calls at all. And this man has really tried everything. He even sent this woman an email because she was not being responsive to the calls that he's made to her. So he sent her an email. And we'll learn about that as well. What else happened? Girl, I feel like, did I? Okay, yeah, okay. So, we do know that it's not Martell's weekend. It's not his weekend to get the children at all, right? But he still was hoping that he could get them because he felt like this was a special day. He said, according to the court records, this is a special day and the children would be allowed, even though it's one person's weekend, they will be allowed to come with the other parent on special days, okay? He says that he booked this a long time. It's been booked for a minute, way in advance. And my question is, with this being booked way in advance, how soon did Melody get the information? Okay. Now, what else? I believe at one point Mel said that she got the information like 2 to 3 days or something like that, or no, the same day or whatever she said. That's when she got the information. Now, I'm not in Mel's email, but I'll be honest, I don't believe that. But we'll see. Mel saying, I just learned about it like the day before, or whoop-de-whoop. And some part of me, I'm like, I don't believe that. I need to send me an email receipt in comparison to when the date of the thing happened. And maybe she could have, because he had been calling. Oh no, she said she got an email. She said she got an email about him asking, when are the daughter's hair going to be done? When are you going to have my daughter's hair done? Because what time should I pick them up or whatever? Because he wanted them to be at this event, which was also interesting, I will say, because it's like, have you even gotten a confirmation from her for you to just be like, oh, you're going to get their hair done and just bring them over and pick them up for the thing? That don't really sound right. You see what I'm saying? It don't really sound right. It do seem like you're trying to come off like controlling, like you're going to press this issue. Like, are you going to have their hair done, or do I need to pay to get their hair done? Because I need them to be at this event. How much time did you let her know in advance? But I don't know. Mel saying that she just found out about this. Some part of me is like, I don't believe that. I feel like you did know already. I think he did something though to piss you the hell off. And you decided that you're not going to talk to him. And it is your week, so you don't have to. And I also feel like with Martell, you have to understand that this is a part of co-parenting as well. So you can't be pissing her the hell off when you have stuff like this. You just got both of y'all got to figure out a good way to co-parent. Y'all may have to go back to that therapist that y'all had so y'all can work on this. But I do feel like she wasn't entitled to give you the kids on her weekend. It's her weekend. And I feel like if you would have communicated that better, maybe you would have got them. But I also feel like she knew ahead of time. And I also feel like you pissed her off. And she was like, okay, bet they won't be coming on that day because they mine and I'm not obligated to give them to you. What else did I want to say? So Martell said that mailed an email about his daughter's hair being done. She says that he told her there was a book signing. She says it was strange to schedule something on the weekend that is not his. I don't feel like that's strange to schedule something on a weekend that's not yours if you're trying to be a part of, because if you saw it, it was an event where it was other vendors, right? Other things going on. So I don't think that was necessarily weird. I think he could have scheduled it being optimistic that his children would probably be able to come along. Like Melody is often busy, she travels, she's working on other projects. So maybe, I'll probably be able to get the kids probably be able to come with me or whatever like that. So maybe he was being optimistic when he made the scheduling for this. What else happened? I think that was it. I just said, I don't think that's strange at all. I do, however, think communication should have happened in enough time. And I think he should have also been mindful of how he moves with her. I feel like you effed up. So unfortunately, you have to tiptoe around Mel. And unfortunately for you, sir, this is how the battle of co-parenting goes. It's sad, if it's events like you and you're not throwing your own book signing, like if he did something at Barnes and Nobles or something like that, maybe he could be more selective of the day. But if it's an event and you're a vendor or whatever, and you're joining in on what somebody else got going on, you don't get to make that call or make that say on what those days are. But Mel is getting ready to pack up her kids and go back home because she's had some deaths in the family. So she wants to, get the kids out and get them over there, right? And what else? Let me see. Shout out to Ashley. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Martell is a narcissist. Does everything in his power to make her look bad. Why plan something that big and you don't have them to create a problem? Thank you so much, Ashley, for the super chat. And that could be, and you could be right on that. You could be right. But then I also feel like he could have been optimistic, right? But that's just me, right? I'm just thinking like maybe, and then, Melnika probably booked it or whatever. So I don't know, but y'all could be right. I still feel like she may have known ahead of time, but I think he did something to piss her the hell off. The other thing for me is him saying what time of their hair going to be done, because I need to pick them up. Now, if you didn't have a confirmation from her that indeed the children are going to go, then why would you just be like, what time do I need to come pick them up? Then it does come off, as her mom said, like you trying to like have some control over the situation or whatever, right? But it is what it is, girl. I guess we're gonna see how the rest of the season is going to play out, right? I will say this at the end of the day: if Mel knew she wasn't gonna bring those children, I don't think anything would have been wrong for her to at least hit him up and say, "Hey, we're not making it." There's nothing wrong with just saying, "Hey, we're not gonna be able to make it. I got deaths in the family. I got this, that going on." She really ain't have to say him what she had going on, but I think that she at least could have sent a text message to him or replied to that email and said, "Hey, we're not going to be able to make it. We have other things going on." Period. Maybe next time, he'll plan better when it comes to those children being a part of those functions and stuff, So, yeah, there's that. Yeah. Yes, I agree. Melody knew ahead of time. She is just playing a game with him. All right. We have to remember how he treated her at the reunion, and she is probably paying him with dust, just like Tisha and unfortunately Destiny. That ruined that reunion opened her eyes to see some people aren't for her. I agree. I definitely agree with that. But I do think, in all honesty, when it comes to the children, they're just gonna have to do a better job at co-parenting them. But I do think when one has them on the weekend, they really can't expect. You know what I'm saying? He can't just automatically assume and expect that she gonna give him the kids. But you know what I'm saying? Because they got an event. Because when she has something and he got the kids, he probably gonna tell her no too, that they can't go. So they just gonna have to, figure that out. Maybe he can get with Melnika and be more strategic. And like, hey, let's just book stuff on these particular weekends here. He could try to push for an advance. Like, hey, Mel, it's an event going on. I think it'll be a great opportunity for the kids. I know this is your weekend, but would you be okay with me getting them for this or that? If she say no, cool. Don't submit your money for that. Don't submit your money to be a vendor for something and you're on that weekend and expect your kids to get there and they're not going to be there. But I do think that producers did a pretty interesting job with how they shot this. How they shot this, to me, was to get a bit of sympathy for Martell, because a lot of the heat has been on him for the past few seasons. Okay, a lot of heat has been on him, so I feel like they definitely used this opportunity to try to get people to feel like, oh, Martell, that is so messed up. Melody shouldn't have did that to you. So So I think they definitely was that was a play on emotion for Martell. Okay, so there's that. That's really all that I have. I'll let you guys continue to chit chat down below in the comments. If you haven't yet to like the video, please go ahead and do so. We have over 300 people in the chat at this time. Also, feel free to go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you have yet to do so. Okay, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at jamithatsme. That's all that I have, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.